Hello everybody. So, quick reminder that this video is not like the rest of the videos on this channel. If you're here looking for fight breakdowns and whatnot, those will be the other videos. However, Stone Ocean recently finished earlier this week, so I want to or actually last week, but it finished recently and I want to talk about it, go over my opinions and how, and just generally just discuss it. And I want to make this more of like just like a video you could put on in the background. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into Stone Ocean. So, Stone Ocean is actually the first part of the franchise that I got to watch as it came out. Now, granted, I was a bit behind on the first batch because on December 1st, 2021, when the first batch of Stone Ocean dropped, I was still in part 3 of the series and not even in part 4. So, I was a bit behind, but I watched batch 1 and batch 2. I mean, not batch 1, batch 2 and batch 3 as they came out. With that being said, let's go over the biggest elephant in the room, the batch system. For those of you who just are either really new to this franchise or haven't been paying attention to the anime release over the last year, the first 12 episodes of Stone Ocean aired a little a little over a year ago now, I think. It aired in 2021, basically, and there was only 12 episodes. Then, around 2 to 3 months ago, the second batch came out, and now, just this past Friday, the third and final batch came out. And, yeah, it definitely sucked. Now, I could see where they were coming from, mainly with the fact that Stone Ocean is a Netflix exclusive, and Netflix's whole model um, is binge watching. The Wednesday Addams show that just got released that everyone's talking about, that was a batch release. Stranger Things, their most popular show, is a batch release. Tiger King, that was a batch release. Basically, it's their thing. So I understand why Stone Ocean got this treatment. However, it would have been great if we could have seen something a bit more normal, like a simple week-to-week format. With that being said, from here out, I will be talking about the story, so there will be spoilers for the third batch. So if you have not seen this final batch of Stone Ocean, I'd recommend going ahead and watching it. So, with that being said, onto the story. It was just like every other Jojo part. Jolene finds herself in prison and is fighting Poochie. However, I believe in my opinion, the last 14 episodes of Stone Ocean, that being the third batch, was absolutely incredible. I really liked what they did with Made in Heaven. I think it was amazing. And the final opening from episode 38 will go down in history as probably one of my favorite opening visuals in anything ever, because it is awesome. And then the fact that they brought it back roundabout, which was the ending theme for parts 1 and 2, that was pretty good. With that being said, in case you're wondering when that opening breakdown is going to come out, it's going to come out whenever I finish Stone Ocean on the channel, after I go over, Emporio versus Poochie, then the two opening breakdowns will come out, and I don't know how I'm gonna actually do those yet. But with that being said, I think that episode 38 was a really good way of ending this legacy, basically. From 2012 to 2022, that is 10 full years this anime has been running. An accomplishment in of itself. When a show's running for 5 years, that's insane. Making it run for 10 years is wild. And so I think it's impressive that not only were we able to get this story start to finish, but the final episode itself was honestly really cool. I really enjoyed Emporio using Weather's stand ability. I think that it was just an awesome way to make Emporio, who basically started the story of Stone Ocean, to have a stand, to, be the one to end it. In case you're like, but no, the car crash starts down. No. Emporio talked to Jolene, causing her to be suspicious and whatnot, leading to the whole White Snake battle. But with that being said, there's not really much for me to talk about other than the ending and going forward with the future of the anime and whether or not we could be seeing Steel Ball Run, JoJolion, and JoJo Lands be animated. So firstly, let's go over the ending. So after Pucci resets the universe one time, we find ourselves in 2011 with a different universe, Kujo, Joe family, and Emporia's like, hey, these ain't the people I know. I don't know these people. And Pucci basically explains that when the universe is reset, those who have died, like Jotaro, Joey, and Fu, Hermes, whether all those cannot be brought back into the new universe. So basically, Emporio then uses Weather's stand ability, beats the ever living god out of Dio, and causes Dio to reset. Dio? I just said Dio twice. I meant Pucci. He beats the ever living goodness gracious out of Pucci, and Pucci ends up resetting the universe a second time. This time it's a gas station in Florida right outside of Green Dolphin Street Prison, the main setting for Stone Ocean, and Emporio sees a bus drop off someone that looks suspiciously like Hermes from his universe. And then he notices a man that suspiciously looks like Anasui. And then starts to rain, and Anasui offers Emporio a car ride. Then laundry's being done, so one of the machines just went off. But as I was saying, this Anasui, his girlfriend, steps out of the car and introduces herself as Irene. Now she looks just like Jolene, even has the star birthmark. And this causes Emporio to break down in a really emotional scene. And Jolene, as I'm just going to call her, or Irma, or I already forgot her name. Irene. Irene wraps her heart sweater around Emporio because, it's starting to rain. So, the new universe versus Anasui, Hermes, and Irene all pile into Anasui's car, and they drive away when Irene notices a hitchhiker that's on the side of the road and convinces Anasui to pick him up. And from the silhouette, it's obviously meant to be this universe's weather report. And I gotta say, that is definitely a good way of handling it. Now, I think the universe that Pucci resets Emporio to is one without stands. And the reason I think this is simply because if there were stands, then Weather probably would have used his stand to stop the rain. And that last ending shot was... It was something, And seeing Jotaro's death was definitely... it's one of those things where it's like, nah, he's not gonna die. He's basically the main character of the show. Then he dies, and you're like, no, you can't play with my feelings like that. A side note, Jotaro's return was amazing. It was everything I hoped it would be. The second Pucci grabbed that gun, I knew he was going to shoot off like 5 or 6 bullets. Time would stop, and Jotaro would come in. Surely enough, he shoots off, I believe, 4 bullets. Then we hear Star Platinum the World's time stop effect. And once again, he comes in, does Ora Ora. And again, it was awesome seeing Jotaro back. Like, words cannot understate how excited I was. Like, my brother can tell you, I saw that scene, and I was just like, yes, he's back. So, with that being said, on to the future of the anime and as to whether or not we'll see Steel Ball Run. From everything we can tell so far, there isn't any reason why Steel Ball Run wouldn't be, any reason why Steel Ball Run wouldn't be adapted into an anime. However, there are a few points against it. Firstly was Stone Ocean's reception. Many fans hated the badge system, and I'm sure David Production and whatever other company that will be distributing the anime in the future are kind of scrambling to figure out where this where fans are more comfortable with the releases. And well, another thing is that Steel Ball Run obviously is a horse race. So the fact of the matter is that horses are expensive to animate, and we saw with Stone Ocean that they're not afraid to resort to CGI for some important scenes. And yeah, now from everything we can tell so far, it's not confirmed, but it's highly likely. We've already gotten basically like 80% of the series already animated at this point, now that Stone Ocean finished. So, yeah, as far as expected release dates, I believe that David Productions will be taking a break, to focus on other things. Maybe they want to spend the next 2 to 3 years working on some other animes, and then getting back around to doing JoJo. However, if they continue with their current schedule, it should be sometime around the year 2025 when we'll see the Steel Ball Run anime, which isn't that far off. 2025 or 2024 is when we'll see the anime. If we're going off episode one's air date, then and then it'd be 2025, I believe. And if we're going off the wait, no, if we're going off episode one's air date, it'll be 2024. If we're going off episode 38's release date, then it would be 2025. Because they do take about a 2-year break before officially announcing the part of the anime. With that being said, I quite enjoyed Stone Ocean. I'm excited to see what Viz will do for the inevitable manga release. I wonder how they're going to handle the Bohemian Rhapsody arc. From what I saw from the anime compared to the manga, they removed Spider-Man and all the Disneyland references and replaced them with either characters that Warner Brothers owns, like Batman, or just said, hey, famous place. With that being said, that I will say that, yeah, it was definitely very emotional watching Made in Heaven versus the Jolene Squad. There's not really a good name for this, Part 1, we had the Hamon Warriors. Part 2 is just the dynamic duo, basically. Part 3, it's the Stardust Crusaders. Part 4, it's the Morio, it's the Morio stand users, or whatever they're called. And then part 5, it's obviously Bucciarati's gang, but part 6 doesn't have anything clever to refer to the people you are currently seeing on screen. Oh yeah, another thing is the very strict, the very, I'm trying to think of the word. The fact that Stone Ocean was actually able to keep to real world geography, and the sense of the matter is that Batch 3 is basically a race to Cape Carnival, Florida. And from there, Poochie can go to the Kennedy Space Center, where Made in Heaven where Sea Moon / Made in Heaven is unlocked. And after looking at, basically Google Maps, I saw, Cape Carnival isn't that far from the Kennedy Space Center. It's only about like a 4-minute trip or something. With that being said, as a whole, I think the anime is good, and I am like 1010% sure this specific part of the anime is going to get trashed on, because of the simple fact that Stone Ocean was a batch system, and it made fans wait incredibly long, whereas every other part was animated week to week. With that being said, I keep saying that being said, but I do. This is just like a video where I need to talk about Stone Ocean, because again, it was an interesting part, and I definitely liked it, but the badge system was obviously a big elephant in the room. And as far as future of it goes, now that anime onlys are basically caught up to the end of Stone Ocean, as basically they're caught up to the I just dropped my pen. But now that they're caught up to the end of the original universe, now we can actually have things like Sea Moon Poochie, Made in Heaven Poochie in video games without worries of having to hold them off. Now, granted, I know they were in games previously, but with the most recent game, All Star Battle R, they waited until the final batch is released to make Made in Heaven Poochie available, basically. So yeah. Now, um, it's this video's already dragged on long enough, so I'm gonna say my closing thoughts and exit out of the video. So, closing thoughts is that the anime's good. The last opening and ending were fantastic, and that there currently is no word of a Steel Ball Run anime, but it is highly likely due to what David Productions set out to do so 10 years ago. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next week when we get back to our regularly scheduled content.